What's going on, beautiful people? We are back again with another Mental Max Out podcast. I'm your host, Akeem Robinson. And for those of you joining us for the first time, thanks for checking it out. Mental Max Out is all about helping people change their perspectives, think differently, and get out of the hole. If you're back again, I celebrate your willingness to continue growing and challenging your mind. Remember, if you like what you hear today, make sure you hit that subscribe button or whatever platform you're listening from. Share it with a friend and follow us on social media at Mental Max Out Podcast. What's going on, beautiful people? I get another opportunity to sit next to my lovely wife. I'm trying to get brownie points, so sometimes I got to sprinkle that in.
If you bake some brownies, you might get some brownie points.
I hate brownies, so why would I bake brownies?
Because I like brownies.
But then I can't eat any.
Exactly.
That defeats the whole
Exactly. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We're so glad that you're tuning in, whether you are traveling to see some family or starting your meal prep process. My boss starts cooking on Tuesday. She starts preparing Thanksgiving dinner way in advance, and this is going to be my first year doing a turkey, so
gobble.
I am very excited, but I will not be prepping that far in advance. Everything I'm going to make on the day of, which I know is risky business, and I know there are some Thanksgiving veterans out there saying, Allison, that's a terrible idea, but I thrive in chaos. What can I say?
Just for the people out there, she's not even doing herself a real service out here. I think Allison is an amazing cook.
Thank you.
I think you're an amazing cook. I love the food, no matter what it is.
Again, just bake me the brownies.
No, I said you're an amazing cook. I'm not an amazing cook or baker at that. Now, remember when I made cake and it was like water?
Well, you forgot the flour.
Yeah, I didn't. I tried to make a cake with no flour and it was water. But yeah, she's gonna prepare this meal and she's like, I'm thinking about doing this, and I'm like, no, give me the starters. Give me the ones that are always A1. Ballers.
Thanksgiving has the staples, right? Literally, I was on the phone with our friend Derek today, and he said last night he was practicing the mac and cheese for Thanksgiving.
Practicing.
He said, I was practicing the mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. Because there are some staple Thanksgiving food items that people just expect. Mac and cheese, Hawaiian rolls or crescent rolls, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce. I was telling Akeem that I was going to make cheesy potatoes, and we make potatoes all the time in our house, but we don't make cheesy potatoes. No. I make really good, crispy, roasted potatoes.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm going to make these cheesy potatoes, and I'm going to make this peach. I'm like, who are these guys? I don't know none of these guys. These guys ain't on my starting roster. I want the dudes. I want the meals. But
that's what people are saying right now about the playoffs. They want those dudes. They want the SEC dudes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you see... And again, Tuesday is going to roll around, and I know what they're going to do to my beloved ACC Clemson diehard. They're gonna just poop on my team and say all these teams are better. Despite everything that we've looked at, everything has been in chaos. Everything has been wild. All these teams losing, and they still don't want to let other teams in. And I just think it's crazy.
Well, you have a big game this weekend, and they say that if Clemson beats South Carolina, then they're automatically in.
It's going to be huge, and I'm going to be glued to the TV. I don't care where I'm going to be, but I'm going to be at somebody's house somewhere watching the game.
Well, the Horned Frogs still have a chance to play in the conference championship game, which means they still have a chance to also get in. Just going to throw that out there because of all the losses and all the craziness. All the freaking craziness.
Yeah, all the craziness. We just thought to ourselves, this is actually a perfect thing to talk about today, of how crazy things can be. But we love the crazy. And sometimes we need the crazy.
Every year on Thanksgiving week, my cousin Doug would drive up from San Diego. It's like a tradition. Still to this day, he's in Northern California with my mom. Cousin Doug would always drive up. Like most people, my mom stresses over Thanksgiving dinner, and she's, wants everything to kind of come out around the same time. What you don't want is the potatoes to be done 4 hours before your turkey, all that sort of stuff, right? And they would always call Cousin Doug the cooler. He would be the person to just help her chill out, to help her just relax, have another dirty martini. That was Cousin Doug's role. And so it's crazy because Now I look at our life and kind of, babe, I think you're my cooler.
I'm your cooler, huh?
I think you're my cooler because when I feel like things are crazy...
Cut the red or green wire. Bomb's about to go off.
You're like, it's okay, honey. That's okay. You said this to me the other day and I was kind of offended. What you were like, no.
Oh, dear.
you like to procrastinate and you thrive under pressure. And I was like, no, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, no, you do. Like, you like the pressure of waiting till the last minute, getting it all done, feeling accomplished, even though it stresses me out every time. So I would say that I probably thrive in chaos.
And not only do you thrive in chaos, you dive from the high dive into chaos.
Like, I volunteer for chaos.
The funniest thing to me is listening to you saying, babe, I love routines. And routines help me. And I'm like, but you like chaos just as much as you like routines. And sometimes you don't want to follow the routine.
No. It's a planned chaos.
It's
planned chaos because I know on Thursday I'll be a little bit stressed about all the food. I've never cooked a turkey before. I'll be a little bit stressed.
Yeah.
But I know that is occurring on Thursday. I know that I'm going into that. I know that I have to pack for our trip. I'm waiting till the last possible second, even though it'll be 10 o'clock at night, and I'll be like, oh, I need to go to bed because we got to wake up early. Like, I know those things are going to occur, so I'm okay with it. It's when other people put the chaos on me or external factors that I'm not aware of that I'm just absolutely not.
Because it drives us nuts. I know my own chaos. And you think about this, right? When you throw a piece of clothes on the dresser or on the floor, you know it's clean. It might be chaotic for the other person being like, is this dirty? Why is this here? Why is this not in the basket? You know, it's that simple of a thing. Even in your analogy, you know you're cooking Thanksgiving meal on Thursday, and it's still going to be stressful because you going into it cold. You going into it not like Derek practicing a week ahead of time about to get the mac and cheese. You know, I got to get this thing right. It's showtime. But why do we do that to ourselves? And here's my thought. I think we do that to ourselves because we want to bring out our best. And the only way we know we can bring out our best is when there's no excuse. Like, there is no do-over. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's going to be there on Thursday.
4th and 1.
Yeah, 4th and 1 on the goal line. You don't get no more plays. This is it. This will decide the game.
It's like when the guy from A&M, the guy from Texas A&M dropped the pass on the last play in 4th overtime.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of pressure that I love. And you've helped me a lot with this. Like, I will say I used to put myself in chaos and then I'd be really stressed and overwhelmed because I want to impress, you know, whoever's there. Even though we're doing Thanksgiving with my dad, my sister, my best friend, her family, people that I don't need to impress because I've known them for 10 years. But what's helped me a lot is your perspective of, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And now I'm in my head like, maybe I should get some ground beef. And if the turkey doesn't turn out, we just make some hamburgers. That has to be okay. But I feel like if I'm looking for this perfect tablescape turkey and I pull it out and the leg is falling off because it's that tender and I don't get to take my Instagram picture, like if I put that kind of pressure on myself, it's not going to be enjoyable no matter how chaotic it can be. Because I feel like chaos can be fun and exciting.
Ooh.
College football playoffs is exciting. Regardless of our team status, it's exciting because you never know and it's going to change. And if you look at it that way, for somebody like us who, we have some skin in the game, but not a whole lot, right?
Yeah.
It's exciting. If I'm Alabama fans right now, I'm not excited about the chaos.
But not many people would put these two things together. Chaos can be fun and exciting. Because people are like, no, that's not true. I don't want to think that. But remember, we were talking last night and we said, what's that perfect age? And without question, we both had the same answer, 21. Don't you think in your like 20s to mid 20s is the perfect time for chaos? Because you get free access to mess up. You get, oh, it's okay, you're still young. And we thrive in that. And it's okay. But for some odd reason, when we are not in that area or we pass that area, we have to like be perfect. And I think sometimes chaos is necessary because you need to make mistakes to know what not to do next time.
It's like that, you know, if you always know the path you're supposed to walk, if you always know how to do it, how are you challenged, right? And it's like being in chaos can help you be challenged because you may not put the challenge on yourself. If I never volunteered to do Thanksgiving, I may have gone another 5 years without making a turkey. Like you asked me 10 minutes ago, you said, Why is a turkey that thing that people get to a certain age and they all of a sudden decide that they want to try to do Thanksgiving turkey? You've never thought to make a turkey just on a random Wednesday night before.
For sure.
Because we make chicken or we make whatever other types of birds that we cook or whatever big things. But turkey is one day out of the year. Everybody puts all this pressure on the Thanksgiving turkey. Honestly, we never do it again for another 365 days, and it's the same thing every year.
Every time.
But because I don't cook it all year, it's a challenge. Because I don't cook it all year, it's not just the same old, same old. This is something new and different, and as intimidating as it might be, it's exciting.
At a certain age, you're no longer on your parents' insurance. But then at a certain age, it's like you're now eligible to cook this turkey. And it's like, what are you going to do about it? And I think there's so many times in our lives where we get hit with that same question, right? What are you going to do about it? Now that you're at this stage in your life, now that you're at this point, how do you handle this situation? And I think for me, it's crazy because that stage of chaos is what I need. And I've been exposed to that so much being a husband. Like, being a husband is chaos every day. Like don't let it fool you. It's chaos every day because you have to juggle the fact of, I have this little daughter. She's growing, learning. Am I giving her the right tools? And then soon as she goes to sleep or relaxes, I'm now in husband mode. And so if I relax too much, then it gets crazy. And so I have to be constantly in this state of like, okay, what's next? What am I going to do? How am I going to fix it? How am I going to make this situation work all the time? And that for me is like chaos. But I have to be there to be at my best for either one of those situations.
It's like, when there's chaos, I feel like people handle it so different. And I think that some people, when there's something chaotic going around, whether they're inducing it or it's just happening, some people are really, really good at center yourself. Just breathe and just relax and make a decision and control what you can control. That's what people always want to say, right? Oh, just control what you can control.
Yeah.
There's a hurricane coming, control what you can control. Your team lost, control what you can control. And it's like, how do you do that, though? The world seems like it's spinning around you. Things are crazy, but you're supposed to control what you can control. Even though, take packing, for example, right? I could have easily packed for this trip in advance. I could have done it on Sunday after church because nothing that I was packing I was going to wear between the, then and the time we left. I could have packed in advance, but for some reason, my brain thinks I'm going to need to wear all 15 of those clothing items, and so I can't do it. Even though I could have controlled what I could have controlled and packed in advance, but for some reason, I had to wait till the last minute, pack the night before, stay up late to make sure, and that to me, because I waited till the last possible second to put things in the car, that it was all ready to go.
You said, how do you center yourself and find balance in the chaos? And I think that's the key. You have to find the balance. Like, you have to be willing to say, okay, I know I'm not going to go to bed. I know I'm going to go to bed later and we're going to be up later. And I truly believe we found the balance because we laugh and we do it together. You could have did that earlier. You could have packed by yourself, but you would have been by yourself. But every time you've packed later, I'm there. Serena's asleep. We're laughing. We're joking. We're both exhausted, trying to get the house ready, trying to get the car ready. It gives us 45 minutes of fellowship. And that's only because we've trialed and errored so many different ways of, let's pack 2 days before. Let's pack a week before. Let's make sure we have all these things. We thought we were alleviating or not heading into the chaos. But then when we're on the trip, we're like, did we pack this? No. Did we bring this? No. We forgot this. Dang. The best way for us to manage the chaos and not avoid it, because we're still going to be in it, is to say, we'd rather take the 45 minutes of fellowship. We'd rather take the later go to bed time, but we get to laugh more time.
Yeah, because we're delusional.
Because we're
delusional and loopy and we're tired and we know we have to wake up in 3 hours because we're the type of people who, when we do a road trip, we are up by 3, out by 4.
Every time.
So we can get to where we need to go. Is it chaotic? Honestly, kind of. but it's just something that we prefer to do. Even if we have to get Serena up early, we're tired, even if we go to bed late and we're exhausted, we still prefer to do that, although it could be kind of crazy.
I think the cool thing about that is because we prefer to do it that way, we find peace in that level of chaos. Because no matter how many times we've left at 4 a.m, every single time, Serena never cries. Like, she is like, hey, what's up? Sometimes she's up.
Yeah, she's already up.
She's already up at 3:30 waiting for us. I don't know how she has this sixth sense of even knowing that, but she's already awake and she's never cried that we've interrupted her sleep. For lack of better terms, there's peace in that chaos.
It's not chaotic anymore.
Yeah. And
So do you think that you can practice chaos?
Oh, man, that's a high-level question.
I mean, to your point, right? Traveling, when we used to travel and wake up early, we kind of used to be hodgepodge, throwing things in at the last minute, stressed. I used to be really stressed, but now it's just like what we do. So do you think that chaos is something that can be practiced?
I don't think chaos is something that can be practiced, because chaos is something that not necessarily you plan for it. It's just here. But I think you can plan for certain moments in the chaos. So for us, we know 4 o'clock is that sweet spot every time. And one time we tried to leave at 2, that was too early for us. One time we tried to leave at 6, and that was too late for us. So we know for us, the planned chaos is 4 a.m. No matter how long I stay up, no matter how long it takes us to pack, we will be on the road at 4 a.m. because we know everything on the other end of the trip is a perfect time for me to rest. It's a perfect time for us to grab a lunch. Perfect time for Serena to nap. Like, everything fits.
Our background's in athletics, and so we've watched multiple football practices and multiple practices of just stressful situations. So many times you practice the 3 seconds left on the clock, no timeouts left, have to run out on the field, kick the field goal to win situations. You practice it, you practice it, you practice it. The speakers are blaring. You have the other team's fight song chanting in the speaker. You got whatever it is. And no matter how many times you do that, when it comes down to it in the game, you still miss. Or somebody doesn't get the ball off in time. Or somebody jumps offside, right? Like, there's always something that can happen no matter how many times you practice it.
True.
But at least you're in a fighting position.
No question.
Like, at least you have a fighting chance to face the chaos. Going to Florida the other weekend with Serena, I left at 4 o'clock in the morning by myself. I have to say I was really intimidated to do it because when I left to go to Florida, I was going to leave by 6:30 and I left at 7:30. And I was already thinking, wow, Akeem's the one that keeps us on schedule. Like, I'm going on a trip with Serena by myself, and Akeem is the reason we leave at 4 o'clock. Not saying it was in my head, but I was kind of thinking that. So when I made the decision to leave at 4 to come home, I was like, you know what, Allison? No. You take ownership. Yeah. It's not Akeem. It's both of y'all. You can wake up at 4 o'clock and drive home with Serena. You can do it because if he was here, you would do it. And I did it. All of the times that we've done it, even though I didn't do it on the way there, I was able to do it on the way back.
Oh, there's no question. I think in order for you to thrive in the chaos, now hear me, I think in order for you to thrive in the chaos, you need a good team. You need a good team. And there's been so many practices, to your point, being on the sideline of a college team that you practice every scenario possible. No timeouts. Spike the ball. Make sure you run out of bounds. Make sure this happens. And to your point, there's a lot of times where that situation, you miss it. You're a second off and you don't get it. But there's every once in a while, the situation happens the exact way you do practice it. And I think that's just because you got a good team. And that doesn't matter if it's one other person, your family. You have to get everybody on the same page. If everybody on the same page realizes we're in the middle of chaos, now let's thrive in it.
It's not even thrive. You know what?
What is it? Talk to me. Talk to me.
It's embracing the chaos.
Ooh, embrace
because you don't have to thrive, right? I think thrive is one of those words like Kaiser Permanente, thrive, right?
I don't even know who that is.
That's not a who. It's the healthcare system in California.
Oh.
But it's that's their slogan, right? Thrive.
Okay.
Okay. Or Thrive Market, and now you're going to get all these ads, whatever. Anyways, I don't think it's thrive in chaos because that's so subjective. And for people to be gung-ho about it, that's not the case. It's embrace the chaos. Allow the chaos to come in and embrace it, because if you can embrace the chaos, then you know what to do with it.
There was one time we brought this like Marine to come and talk to one of our teams, and somebody was like, you know, you've been in the Marines for 20 plus years. How have you done it? And you're waiting for him to say something just like so profound, just like I've been trying to do. And the first words, and I'll never forget, it came out of his mouth. He was like, we just embrace the suck every day. And I was like, oh, I don't know if that was the message I was sharing to this football team, but it was such a powerful message because, to your point, it's not always going to be gung-ho. It's not always going to be something you want to do. But if you're willing to embrace the fact that it sucks.
It's good, bad, or indifferent. It just is what it is.
Yeah, and we're going to have to do it anyway. So if we can do that, we're gonna find a way to survive. I took that, and I think that's how we try to live our lives truly. We just know 4 a.m. is going to get here, God willing. And we're like, all right, let's do it. Let's make it happen. We're on the road, and we're going to figure it out. And no matter what, we've always made that happen.
The key is knowing how far the closest Buc-ee's is from you, because that's when you get to stop.
You would think we were sponsored by these people. Yeah, we just stop at Buc-ee's because I'm a sucker for some tater tots, and we buy tater tots like they going out of style.
Oh, yeah. And they got the cleanest bathrooms. It is what it is.
They do. They really do. And if you haven't been to a Buc-ee's, you're missing out. Like, I mean, it's like 60-something stations. It's a mall. Mm-hmm. It is a gas station mall.
Get your Christmas shopping done.
Oh, no question. I think when you think about chaos, it's where are moments where you can embrace it? Where are moments where you can say, this is going to suck. But you know what? How can I get out of this, and how am I going to figure it out?
So this week, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. Those are all the sales, babe. Those are all like the sale days.
Okay.
That's support your small businesses.
Okay, got it.
So those are the days that you do things to shop for Christmas. So you got Thanksgiving and Christmas shopping this weekend. So all that to say, embrace the chaos.
Embrace the chaos. Because Lord knows Black Friday started November 1st, right?
And tune in next week and we'll talk about all of the finds that I found in all of those sales.
She's going to be like pushing some old lady out the way and like...
No, they don't do that anymore because everything's like online or, you know.
Where's the competitive edge of beating up an old lady?
You don't have to wait till 12 a.m. anymore. It's just whenever, you know. You just show up whenever.
They just take all the fun out of just...
We hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Tune in next time.
Enjoy the time with your family, and we hope you listen in next week.
Bye.